one last discussion on the current state of YouTube, and then I believe we can finally move this commentary series off to other topics that might be more pertinent to stuff that's going on in the news. But first, let's have one last discussion about the current state of YouTube, since they've been in the spotlight so much this past week with Content ID Mageddon and all that other stuff that I just got done chiming in on. But before we call it a day with this YouTube stuff, I'd like to propose an idea that perhaps maybe some of you folks may have already even been thinking of yourselves. So, about that subscriber system, I honestly think YouTube should just get rid of the subscriber system completely and replace the subscriber system with standardized, internet standard, I should say, RSS support. Because the subscriber system is just far beyond useless. Take that Q&A thing that I was thinking of doing earlier. So I guess Q&A videos are completely out of the question, because with 485 subscribers, I get a grand total of 24 views and 3 questions. What a disappointment. Seriously. You know, I really have to wonder just who or what is subscribing to me these days with this wide of a gap between subscribers and views. Fortunately for some of the other series, they've done a lot better, but I'm pretty disgusted at what happened with that Q&A. I am going to still answer the questions, though. I don't want to insult the folks that actually responded, all 3 of them, or 4 of them, I should say. Well, only 3 asked questions. But anyways, I'm not going to insult the folks who actually responded. So I'm going to probably take an alternate route in answering those questions. Not a formal Q&A, because there's barely anything to go off of. But, because there's barely anything to work with, just a couple of questions. But, you know, the growing gap between subscribers and views has been something that people have been complaining about for quite some time. And again and again and again and again, people being critical of YouTubers saying, where are the views? Can somebody please do something about the growing gap between subscribers and views? Again and again and again, this is a problem. And what does YouTube do? They take the side of the folks and the systems causing the problem. Yeah, they end up supporting it. Classic example, let's talk about views versus subscribers here. What everybody's wailing about who's running into this problem is views. However, what the official marketing material, if that's what you want to call it, from YouTube, the official communications and stuff like that, just about all of that stuff is all about subscribers. We're going to make changes to the website so you get more subscribers. Read our SOP manual for ways to build your subscriber base. Subscribers don't mean anything, YouTube. Yeah, I know. Like, they'll listen to somebody like me. Yeah, sure. But anyways, I've known the YouTube subscriber system to be absolutely useless. But before we get onto that, let's talk about how YouTube has basically taken the side of the sources of these problems. So I've mentioned before bots, aggregators, non-human channels. Bots being those bots, of course, that, of course, supposedly they're not allowed on YouTube, but I know there's these, I think third-party view and subscriber bot services are still around, and I've even heard of people's channels being trolled by bot networks before, so, but that's the only, a lot of people think, oh, I don't think there's a lot of bots on YouTube. Bots are the only one of those 3 that doesn't have to be a person. Now, aggregators, like I've said, are those non-human accounts where somebody doing a job somewhere is just collecting information for a podcast. So they use YouTube as their gigantic video RSS, and they subscribe to everything under the sun in hopes of perusing stuff that they can podcast, or they can opine on in a podcast, or do news stories about, if something like that works. It's kind of like news. It's like the digital version of journalism and sources and things like that. So again, it's not, if an aggregator subscribes to you, it doesn't have to be somebody who's actually going to like what you're doing or even watch what you post and stuff like that. And then, of course, non-human channels that, like I said, organizational channels that for whatever reason subscribe to people and stuff like that, even though to protect their own image, they probably won't interact or even watch very much of what people post. It's disgusting, really. You know, back in the day, we used to be able to refer to the people involved with YouTube channels as YouTubers, because back then your channel really was your channel or the channel of a human being. But today, no more. YouTube has taken the side of these problems when it comes to bots, aggregators, and non-human channels, because they encourage non-human channels through all the so-called brand channels and stuff like that. Oh yeah, you can have a brand channel. You can have multiple people involved and stuff like that, and it has all the same features as a personal channel, so you can end up with like a show subscribing to you or something like that. Yeah, like anyone's ever going to risk making their show look bad to like leave a comment on a video or something like that. Yeah, so, and then of course, if you want to deal with these fake subscribers that subscribe to you and never, ever, ever do anything, you're out of luck, because the last time I went to audit my list of subscribers and potentially get rid of some fakes, I saw this little fine print on the page that YouTube has recently added that says only subscribers who share their subscriptions publicly are shown. So, if you want to clean up your subscriber list, if you think there might be a lot of non-human channels subscribed to you that are just, that are just not doing anything, and you want to purge your subscriber list, you can't do that anymore, because because your subscribers now need to publicly share their subscribers or what they're subscribed to in order for you to be able to remove them. Now, I don't know if maybe the block thing. Actually, yeah, the block unblock trick would still work, but you're not going to see those people in your subscriber list, because only the people who share their subscriptions publicly are shown. Checkmate. Learn to love your fake subscribers who subscribed to you once upon a time and then never did anything ever again, which is more proof that the subscriber system is completely useless and should be retired. Now, I've known for years that not all subscribers are created equal on YouTube. I've been very familiar for many years with the problem of antagonistic subscribers, where you get some hater or somebody subscribing to you just to pester you every single video until you finally do something about them. So yeah, it's a mess. Unfortunately, why do I even care about this stuff in the first place? Because subscribers have been a status symbol on YouTube for a long time. And now that, since we know that the subscriber number means complete crap, it's complete crap compared to the views people get on their videos. Since we know that the whole subscriber thing is a load of crap, why on earth do people still, in the year 2013, use the subscriber number as a weapon to shush other YouTubers? So somebody will try and give some constructive criticism on somebody's videos. Oh, I have more subscribers than you. I don't have to listen to you. Who are you to tell me what to do? I have more subscribers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen, other than like specials for like passing a certain number of subscribers, which I'm not really a huge fan of, other than those things, I don't think I've ever seen the subscriber number used as anything but a weapon against criticism like this. So again, why have it? Plus, we know the number can be bogus for numerous reasons, and YouTube has taken the side of the number being bogus as well, with the whole brand channel support, multi-channel support, and all kinds of other stuff as well. Now, before we move on to discussions of possible solutions and things like that, let's just go over one more thing. Now, some people may be like, oh, Jay, more people are accessing YouTube through various other devices besides computers. Maybe they're not leaving comments because they don't have a decent keyboard. Yeah, my analytics would suggest otherwise. For the year 2013, 73% of video views for my channel are still done on a good old-fashioned computer. Now, of course, there's more mobile apps, and the mobile devices are increasing, but it's still, most folks that are watching on computers. So we can bench that argument for another couple of years. I mean, here's the thing though. I mean, YouTube, one other thing that is a big problem here is that YouTube makes it, especially with some of the changes to the algorithms and stuff like that, YouTube makes it way too easy to subscribe to far more channels than you'll watch on a regular basis. I think we can say though that to give people the benefit of the doubt here, YouTube has recreated the cable problem of way too many channels. You know how people joke about, oh, when I was a kid with rabbit ears, or, well, I know my dad jokes about this at least. I guess depending on the age here, you know, it's a generational thing, but I know my dad likes to joke about, oh yeah, when I was a kid and I only got 2 channels on my rabbit ears TV, I could always find something to watch. Nowadays, with hundreds of channels, there's nothing good on TV. Yeah, I think maybe we might have something like that going on with YouTube as well, to an extent. I mean, I'm subscribed to a ton of channels, and every so often I do prune my subscriptions because I'm like, okay, I haven't watched anything on this channel in a very long time, so, and stuff like that. So I actually do go to the trouble to sometimes prune out stuff that I just don't want to watch anymore, but I'm not so sure that everybody else does that. There's also the issue of your audience in terms of channels and views. There are certain types of channels that do much, exponentially much better on views versus subscribers than others. And I think that might have something to do with what's going on with my channel as well. So, for example, the Tech Tinkerer channels that I'm subscribed to usually have extremely, and I mean extremely good ratios. You know, if we go to, let's go to B Bishop PCM. He's, well, this'll load. Dinosaur subscriber line territory. Although I did find out today that AT&T is selling off their Connecticut wireline networks to Frontier Communications. So maybe once the Big Blue Death Star exits stage left from this lovely state, maybe there can actually be some broadband advancement or something. All right, let's take a look at some of the videos on here. So here's a guy with nearly 5 grand in subscribers, and he gets about 1,500, 700, 400, 1,200, etc., etc. So closer to the, and a lot of people talk about how, oh, you know, a lot of people get like maybe 5% of their people watching all their uploads. So this guy is closer to the 25 mark. Let me go check out V Westlife while I'm at it. Let's see. I think I have to go back to my own channel to bring that up. Let's go. Load the page. Anyways, let's see. Or maybe if YouTube wasn't such a bloated site. Well, it's not that YouTube is bloated, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes where basically the channel formats, or the page formats itself after loading. So it's not just loading graphics like in the old HTML days. So what do we got for, what is V Westlife rocking these days? Around 8 grand. Oh yeah, here we go. 2 grand, 2 grand, 1 grand, 2 grand, 2 grand, 1 grand. And this is something I see from tech channels in general. And I think I know why. Who is going to watch channels of people messing around with, I'm just looking at Review Tech USA here. I don't actually know. I think depending on the topic, his ratios are either better or worse. But the most consistent in terms of good ratios of views to subscribers that I've seen so far are the tech channels. And isn't it obvious why? Nerds! People who mess around on computers and the internet all the time, like me, of course. Where's my mirror in this desk? There we go. Yeah, get the mirror. Nerds! Yeah, just like the Revenge of the Nerds movie, except that we don't have some jock going, nerds! Yeah, nerds like myself who actually consider computer stuff to be a mainstream form of entertainment. I'm sure that has something to do with why these tech channels have such good ratios of views to subscribers. Oh yeah, just drop the mirror on the floor instead of stuffing it back in the desk. I can pick it up later. So maybe I should do some more of these tech videos and stuff like that. Oh, I'll be getting back to those. I actually have one recorded from the weekend that I gotta splice together and upload. I don't know if I'm gonna upload it before or after these audio segments, but yeah, so yeah, it is the audience. Now, at the other extreme, so we got geeks, we got nerds and geeks and tech folks like myself who consider computer stuff to be a mainstream form of entertainment and consider messing around watching people's videos on YouTube to be very viable to what's on TV these days, or a very viable alternative, I should say. The other extreme, I know that my most popular video of all time, if we scroll down, is the play some stuff of my fitness coach from 4 years ago now, according to this. I think it was 2009 that I posted it. And yeah, folks looking for information on an Xer game for the Wii. I don't know how many subscribers I've gained because of the My Fitness Coach video, but I hope I haven't been too much of a disappointment to those folks, having not done a gaming video of an Xer game for quite some time, stuff like that. So, and of course, you think, people that played Wii games back in the day, like casual users, may not sit around messing around on the internet for long hours at a time like I do, or messing around with computers for long hours at a time like I do. I've actually gotten that at work a couple of times, and people are like, so what do you do for fun? I'm like, well, I usually go home, like, play, like, computer games all day. So let me get this straight. You do computer stuff all day, and then you go home and still more computer stuff. They look at me like no, it's not like that at all. I mean, I don't mess around with databases or ODBC or any server type stuff like what I'm doing nowadays. I don't mess around with that stuff when I'm at home, although I've been tempted, with what I've been doing lately at work, I've been very tempted to open up my antiquated copy of Access 2000 and program my own financial software. I very seriously thought about doing that. It would give me something to do with Microsoft Access Home, but no, that would be, a little too much. Can't take my mind off work and stuff like that, and tangent alert. So, yeah, I think there might be a demographic thing with these views, too. It depends on how tech-savvy your audience is in terms of who watches what when. Okay, we've talked about the problem long enough. Let's talk about solutions to this issue. Now, the first and most obvious, there is the option of hiding your subscriber number on your channel page. The reason why I don't do that is because subscribers, like I said before, are used as a weapon against people with, you have less subscribers than I do. And of course, I'm sure if I hide my subscriber number and because I don't give a darn about it, what's going to happen is someone's eventually going to be like, oh, look, this guy doesn't show his subscribers numbers and his videos get crappy amounts of views. Yeah, I can totally imagine something like that happening. Really, the number needs to go away. Now, there are some site features tied to subscribers, but for the most part, I found the subscription system, this proprietary subscription system that they have in this website, this is an arbitrary and artificial, non-standard way of tracking content. With the whole diversification thing that I'm doing between YouTube and Dailymotion, I've actually been subscribing to some folks over on Dailymotion, and I've been very seriously thinking about just having web browser, like a folder of bookmarks to go to people's channels, instead of just using these internal subscription systems. But then again, all of this could be avoided if, drum roll everybody, YouTube discovered the beauty that is RSS. Now, RSS has been a standard with podcasts and other internet distributed stuff for how many years now? I mean, I remember when I was first messing around with IPTV back in 2006 when I was first getting going on YouTube. I remember, I'd set up, back before AT&T slapped its wireline customers in this state with bandwidth caps, I was actually seriously thinking about building a server to connect to the internet. What is this, dial-up? To power itself on at some random time when I wouldn't need the connection and download all my new podcasts and then shut off or something. And then I'd watch it later. I actually seriously thought about repurposing an old computer to download like HD Nation and Techzilla in HD and stuff like that. And I love watching the HD downloads of these videos. But then the bandwidth caps came out, and I just didn't feel like tying up the connection. Even with bandwidth taken into account, I was finding myself not watching a lot of what I was downloading. And of course, Revision 3 decided to actually mess around with YouTube, so now they have a YouTube channel, and it's just more worth it to just go over to the pages and watch stuff right on the pages themselves instead of having to mess with an RSS reader and actually wait for the video to download, all that stuff, etc., etc. But RSS would actually be a pretty good idea if it were possible, if we could stream similar to how we watch on YouTube. If there was a combination of like some flash file player and RSS, most of us online video addicts would be absolutely golden, I mean. Now imagine a cross between something like Miro and the mobile version of YouTube. So imagine, for example, an RSS feed in Miro of someone's YouTube videos, and if you click one of them, it bounces you over to an embedded mobile YouTube page that just plays the video and something like that. I would love to see that. or some other way, of mixing together my or just receiving any kind of alert whatsoever about my YouTube subscriptions inside the same program that I get my podcasts with. But I don't know. Dailymotion's in the same boat. There is some form of crude RSS support, but I haven't been able to get it working. So maybe I have to mess with a different feed program or something like that, or something besides YouTube, something besides iTunes or Miro or something like that. But for the most part, the RSS support is, and I'm doing the hand quotes here, too bad this is an audio segment, but for the most part, the RSS support on these sites is unsupported. Or to bust out the Dr. Evil impersonation yet again, unsupported. But I wonder sometimes, what if there was RSS support on this site and folks didn't have to make a WordPress page or something like that to add standardized RSS support to what they do on YouTube or Dailymotion even for that matter? Would options besides the actual websites of YouTube and Dailymotion actually bring more traffic to the site? Might be something worth looking into, but I don't know. I'm not going to pretend that I have any clue about how YouTube works or what they're thinking about anything with what they've been doing recently, so I'll leave this for them to figure out. And speaking of which, I hear a rumbling in the distance. In other parts of the year, that would be a lawnmower, but I imagine this time of the year it's probably a snowblower instead. But I think it's time for me to call it an audio segment here and move on to some other topics. Stay tuned, folks. This is Multimedia J Radio.